तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना। We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are in the conversations of 28th July 1885. And what we have finished is Thakur's visit to Nanda Bose. And now he is proceeding to Golab Sundari Devi. Here she is mentioned as Shokatura Brahmani. That is the Brahmin lady who is afflicted with grief. Her daughter was married to aristocrat like king, and she used to come with the escorts and all that. But she died suddenly, and that had afflicted Golab Sundari Devi terribly. Another devotee, Yoginma, Yogindra Mohini Devi, was living near her. So she brought her to Sri Ramakrishna. And then her grief was assuaged. She had invited Thakur to her house. So he had decided to go there after visit to Nanda Bose. So there we are. Ingraji, page 8822. Bangla, page 883. Chaturtha Parichet. In English, only one line gap is given between Nanda Bose and this. The master arrived at the house of the Brahmin lady who was grief-stricken on account of her daughter's death. It was an old brick house. Entering the house, the master passed the cowshed to his left. He and the devotees went to the roof where they took seats. People were standing there in rows. Others were seated. They were all eager to get a glimpse of Sri Ramakrishna. The Brahmani had a sister. Both of them were widows. Their brothers also lived in the house with their families. The Brahmani had been busy all day making arrangements to receive Sri Ramakrishna. While the master was at Nanda Bose's house, she had been extremely restless, going out of the house every few minutes to see if he was coming. He had promised to come to her place from Nanda's. Because of his delay, she had thought perhaps he would not come at all. So that is the state of the mind Master Masha has described. Sri Ramakrishna was seated on a carpet. M. Narayan, Yogin, Devendra and others were seated on a mat. A few minutes later, the younger Narayan and some other devotees arrived. The Brahmani sister came to the master and saluted him. She said, "Sister has just gone to Nanda Bose's house. to inquire the reason for your delay in coming here. So her house must not be far off from that place. She will return presently. A sound was heard downstairs and she exclaimed, "There she comes." She went down, but it was not the Brahmani. Sri Ramakrishna sat there smiling, surrounded by devotees. M. to Devendra. What a grand sight. All these people, young and old, men and women, standing in lines, eager to have a glimpse of him. And M. This M is telling, not master. M is telling Devendra, what a grand sight. All these people, young and old, men and women standing in rows, lines, eager to have a glimpse of him. And here his words. Devendra, to the master, M says that this place is better than Nandal. The devotion of these people is amazing. Sri Ramakrishna laughed. The Brahmani sister exclaimed, "Here comes sister." The Brahmani came and saluted the master. She was beside herself with joy. She did not know what to say. In a half-choked voice she said, "This joy is too much for me. Perhaps I shall die of it. Tell me, friends, how shall I be able to live? I did not feel such a thrill even when Chandi, my daughter, used to visit the house accompanied by liveried footmen with armed guards lining both sides of the street. Oh, now I have no trace of my grief at her death. I should throw into the Ganges all the things I had arranged for his reception and entertainment. I should not. Oh, I was afraid he would not come. Now I know trace of my grief at her death. I was afraid he would not come. Then I thought that if that happens, I should throw into the Ganges all the things I had arranged for his reception and entertainment. I should not speak to him anymore. If he visited a place, I should go there, look at him from a distance, and then come away. See, the devotion, her love or pride is hurt if he does not come. But she should throw this and that, but look at him from here and there and come away, not talk to him. See the amount of devotion. Let me go and tell everybody how happy I am. Let me go and tell Yogin of my good luck. Still overwhelmed with joy, she said, a laborer won 100,000 rupees in a lottery. The moment he heard the news, he died of joy. Yes, he really and truly died. I am afraid the same thing is going to happen to me. Please bless me, friends, or else I shall certainly die. So she is mad with happiness. Absolutely off her head, mad. M was amazed to see the Brahmani's sincere joy and her ecstatic mood. He was about to take the dust off her feet. What are you doing? She exclaimed and saluted him. The Brahmani was extremely happy at the sight of the devotees. She said, I am happy to see you all here. I have brought the younger Naren. Without him, who would there be to make us laugh? She was talking like this when her sister came and said, Come down, sister. How can I manage things if you stay here? Can I do it all by myself? But the Brahmani was overwhelmed with joy. She could not take her eyes from the master and the devotees. After a while, she very respectfully took Sri Ramakrishna to another room and offered him sweets and other refreshments. The devotees were entertained on the roof. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening. Sri Ramakrishna was ready to leave. When he came to the door, the Brahmani asked her sister-in-law to salute the master. Next, one of her brothers took the dust of the master's feet. Referring to him, she said, "He is one of my brothers. He is a fool." "No, no," said the master. "They are all good." A man showed the way with a light. At places it was dark. Sri Ramakrishna stood in front of the cowshed. The devotees gathered around him. M saluted the master, who was about to go to the house of Ganu's mother. That Yoginma perhaps, na? Sri Ramakrishna was seated in the drawing room of Ganu's mother's house. It was on this street floor. Street floor? What is street floor? Ground floor. Most probably it is ground floor. At the ठीक रास्ता ऊपर. That is next to the street. Ground floor next to the street is that room. That was the drawing room. It was on the street floor. The room was used by a concert party. Several young men played on their instruments now and then for the pleasure of the master. That is what she had arranged. They were there already. It was 8:30 in the evening. Moonlight flooded the streets, the houses, and the sky. It was the first day after the full moon. The Brahmani who had also come was visiting, the Brahmani also had come, visiting the drawing room and the inner apartments alternately. She was visiting the drawing room and inner apartments alternately. Every few minutes she would come to the door of the drawing room and look at the master. Some youngsters from the neighborhood also looked at him through the windows. The people of the locality, young and old, came thronging to see the saint. The younger Naren, that is God's attraction. The younger Naren, the people are not conscious what is attracting them, but they are attracted. The younger Naren saw the boys in the street climbing the windows. He said to them, "Why are you here? Get away, get home, go home." The master said tenderly, "Let them stay." Every now and then he chanted Hari Om, Hari Om. Let them stay. They will gain by looking at him. Hari Om, Hari Om, that is drowning all the possible worldliness. The floor of the drawing room was covered with a carpet. The young musicians sat on it and sang. Oh, they were not only concert players, but they sang also. And that is the song from Girish's drama on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Keshava Kuru Karuna Dine Kunja Kananachari Madhava Manamohana Mohana Muralidhari Haribol, Haribol, Haribol Manamar Vraja Kishore Kaliya Har Katar Bhaya Bhanjana Nayana Baka Baka Shiki Pakha Radhika Rudiranjana Govardhana Dharana Vana Kusuma Bhushana Damodara Kansa Darpahari Shama Rama Rasa Rasa Vihari Haribol 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 Manamar. So let us read Only 4 lines are given here. O Keshav, bestow thy grace upon thy luckless servants here. O Keshav, who dost delight to roam Vrindavan's glades and brooks. Let me translate from the Bengali song. Krishna's names are there. Mohana, Keshava, Kuru Karuna Dine, Kunja Kananachari. That much is there in English. And other names, Madhava, Ma is Lakshmi. Madhav means husband of Lakshmi. Madhu means honey. Madhava means honey like. Manamohana, which enchants the minds of people. Mohana, Manamohana, Mohana. Minds are enchanted, people are enchanted. Murali Dhari holds the flute. Haribol Haribol is the usual shout during a Vaishnava song. Vraja Kishore, a youth of the Kishore, adolescent of the Vraja. Vraja is that area about Vrindavan and all those places. Vraja means people walk there. Vraja means cows graze there. Kaliyahar. There was a highly poisonous serpent called Kaliya in the Yamuna, and all the water around him is to be poisonous. And Krishna's friends were playing, and the ball fell there. Krishna jumped to retrieve the ball. Kaliya wanted to bite him, but Krishna went on it had several hooves, and Krishna danced on these hooves, which had that Kaliya had lost all power. And then he could have killed him, but his wives prayed to Krishna to save him. Krishna says, all right, you go away to the ocean so that this place will become free from poison. That is the full story. So Kali had to go away. Ocean is a big place. There that poison will not matter. So is Kaliya her who had removed Kaliya from there. Katara Bhaya Bhanjana. Katara means man is afflicted. He has fear. So Krishna removes the fear of afflicted people. Naina Baka, his eyes are squinting. Baka Shiki Paka, he puts a curved feather of the peacock on his head. Shiki Paka. Radhika Riddhi Ranjana, he enchants, he pleases the heart of Radhika. Govardhana Dharana, that is also a story. They used to worship Indra, the god of rain, every year, thanking him. Krishna said, why not we give up that? Why not worship Govardhana hill, which is the main source of rain for us? So they started doing it. Indra became very angry, and he said, send such torrents of rain. Then Krishna lifted the Govardhan on his little finger, and that became the umbrella. And all the village people gathered below that. So that is Govardhana Dharana. Vanakusuma Bhushana used to decorate himself by flowers from the forest. Damodar. Once when he was very naughty, his mother Yashoda tied him with a rope on his stomach. So Damodara means, Da means a rope, Udara means stomach. So a person who had his stomach tied with a rope. Kamsa Darpahari, Kamsa was the evil demon, and his pride was removed by Krishna. Krishna killed him. Shama, dark in color, Rasa Rasa Vihari. He played with the gopis on a moonlit night, and that is called the Rasa Krida. And there is a source of happiness, Rasa Rasa Vihari. Vihari means he was playing with that. Rasa is ordinarily called juice, but Rasa in Upanishad is called God, source of joy. So, he source of the joy distributed in the Ras Leela. Haribol, Haribol. Master, how sweet the music is, how melodious the violin is, how good the accompaniments are, pointing to a boy. He and the flutist seem to be a nice pair. The orchestra went on playing. After it was over, Sri Ramakrishna said joyfully, "It is very fine indeed." Pointing to a young man, he said, "He seems to know how to play every instrument." He said to him, "They are all good people because they are good players and they seem to be simple people." After the concert, the young musician said to the devotees, "Acha, we should like to hear some of you sing." The Brahmani stood near the door. She said, "None of them knows how to sing. Perhaps Mohini Babu can sing." Mohin Babu is Master Macha himself. But he will not sing before the master, a young man. "Why? I can sing even before my father." The younger Naren laughing. But he has not yet advanced that far. That is daring. Daring, not proper respect to the elders. So Master Masha cannot dare so much. And because that boy showed daring. All laughed. A few minutes later, the Brahmani said to Sri Ramakrishna, "Please come inside." Master, why? Brahmani, the refreshments are served there. Please come. Master, why not bring them here? Brahmani, Ganu's mother requests you to bless the room with the dust of your feet. Then the room will be turned into Banaras, and anyone dying in it will have no trouble hereafter. That is the faith of Hindus, that if one dies in Banaras, he gets liberated. Sri Ramakrishna went inside accompanied by the Brahmani and the young men of the family. The devotees were strolling outside in the moonlight. M and Vinod were pacing the street south of the house and recalling the various incidents in the life of their beloved master. That is called meditation, moving meditation. The recalling the various incidents in the life of their beloved master is called a moving meditation. Sri Ramakrishna has returned to, because you are not necessary to keep the mind still, but moving, but around the same theme. That is the God. Sri Ramakrishna had returned to Balram's house. That's how. So he has, from Balram's house, he went to Nanda's house, from there to Golapma, from there to Ganu's mother, and now he is coming back to Malra. You remember, this is the still the return chariot festival. Yes. Balram had returned to Balram's house. He was resting in the small room to the west of the drawing room. It was quite late, almost a quarter to 11. Sri Ramakrishna said to Yogananda, please rub my feet gently. M was sitting nearby. While Yogin was rubbing his feet, the master said suddenly, I feel hungry. I shall eat some farina pudding. Though he has eaten in both the houses and Nanda's house also. The Brahmani had accompanied the master and the devotees to Balram's house. Her brother knew how to play the drum. Sri Ramakrishna said, it will serve our purpose to send for her brother when Narendra or some other singer wants to sing. Sri Ramakrishna ate a little pudding. Yogin and the other devotees left the room. M was stroking the master's feet. They talked together. Master, referring to the Brahmani and her relative, how happy they were. M, how amazing. A similar thing happened with two women at the time of Jesus. They too were sisters and devoted to Christ, Martha and Mary. Master, eagerly, tell me the story to see the similarities. M. Jesus Christ, like you, went to their house with his devotees. At the sight of him, one of the sisters was filled with ecstatic happiness. It reminds me of a song about Gauranga. My two eyes sang in the sea of God's heavenly beauty and did not come back to me again. Eyes. Down went my mind as well, forgetting how to swim inside the God's personality with the eyes. The other sister, all by herself, was arranging the food to entertain Jesus. She complained to the master, saying, Lord, please judge for yourself how wrong my sister is. She is sitting in your room and I am doing all these things by myself. Jesus said, your sister indeed is blessed. She has developed the only thing needful in human life, love of God. Master, well, after seeing all this, what do you feel? M. I feel that Christ, Chaitanya Dev and yourself, all three are one and the same. It is the same person that has become all these three. Master, yes. One. It is indeed one. Don't you see that it is he alone who dwells here in this way? As he said that, said the Sri Ramakrishna pointed with his finger to his own body. You explained clearly the other day how God incarnates himself on earth. Master, tell me what I said. So he wants to check whether Master Macha has understood everything correctly or not, because he will be sharing with the world. You told us to imagine a field extending to the horizon and beyond. It extends without any obstruction, but we cannot see it on account of a wall in front of us. In that wall, there is a round hole. Through the hole, we see a part of that infinite field. That is incarnation. Master, tell me what that hole is. You are that hole. Through you can be seen everything, the infinite meadow without any end. In the 14th chapter of the Gita, the question is asked by Arjuna, how one goes beyond the three gunas. And the answer is given by Bhagavan that by worshipping me with a non-different bhakti, one goes beyond the three gunas. Now, how connect this incarnation with three gunas going beyond? So, in the next shloka it is said, or in the same shloka, second line, I am the Pratishtha of Brahman. Now, Pratishtha of Brahman means the location where Brahman can be experienced. So, Brahman is, we are asked to experience Brahman in your heart, but that is not possible for everybody. But by looking at avatar, if you can feel Brahman there, then the buddhi becomes Brahma buddhi. And you see Brahman everywhere. Just as looking Brahman in the heart, you feel that it is everywhere. Similarly, looking Brahman in incarnation, you realize that he is all pervading. So that is the point here. You are that whole. Sri Ramakrishna was very much pleased, and here it means avatar as life, you have to go near. Devotionally, analytically, you have to think of the avatar. Otherwise, the Maya has obscured the view of infinity. But avatar is like a hole. So if you can go near it, you can see the middle. Sri Ramakrishna was very much pleased. Patting him back, he said, see, you have understood that. That's fine. It is indeed difficult to understand that. One cannot quite grasp how God, perfect Brahman that he is, can dwell in that small body. So what happens? Our idea of infinity generally is vastness in space. And then we think that vast space, how it can come in that body. But infinity is the consciousness. Infinity is not vastness. Infinity is the consciousness. And if apparently an individual mind, but we can see infinite through it, then that is possible. The master quoted from a song, oh, no one at all has found out who he is. Like a madman from door to door, he roams. Like a poor beggar, he roams from door to door. So this is the description of a man of Brahman. You also told us about Jesus. Master, what did I say? You went into Samadhi at the sign of Jesus Christ picture in Jadumalli's garden house. You saw Jesus come down from the picture and merge in your body. So, there are two parts of this story. From Shambhu Malik, perhaps Thakur had heard a lot of Bible. And he was looking at the picture of Madonna and the child. And there he saw Jesus, and Jesus entered himself. Sri Ramakrishna was silent for a few minutes. Then he said to him, "Perhaps there is a meaning in what has happened to my throat," referring to the sore in his throat. "This has happened lest I should make myself light before all, lest I should go to all sorts of places and sing and dance. So to check them, this has happened." Sri Ramakrishna began to talk about the Dvija. "Master, he didn't come today. Why?" I asked him to come. He said he would. I don't know why he didn't. Master, he has great yearning. Well, he must be someone belonging to this. Isn't that so? Yes, sir, it must be. So, otherwise, how could he have such yearning? Sri Ramakrishna lay down inside the mosquito curtain. Fanned him. The master turned on his side. He said to him how God incarnates himself in a human body. He told him further about this, about his M's spiritual idea. That is personal, so it is not mentioned here. Master, at the beginning I too passed through such states that I did not see divine forms. Ever since I didn't see them, even now I didn't see them, don't see them often, because the mind has gone to the absolute. Among all the forms God chooses for his Leela, I like best his play as a human being. Master, that is enough. And you are seeing me. So clearly, to his inner circle, he reveals himself quite often. We pass on to chapter 44, the Master on himself and his experiences, August 9, 1885. Ravivar, Krishna Chaturdashi, the 14th day of the dark fortnight. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room at Dakshineshwar. So after minutes we were finding him there. Rakhal, M. Dvija and his father, Master Masha's father-in-law, and other devotees were present. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. After returning from Vrindavan, Rakhal had spent a few days at home. Now he was staying with the master. Latu, Harish, and Ramlal were also staying at the temple garden. Ramlal is Thakur's nephew. All others are boy devotees. Sri Ramakrishna was not well. It was the beginning of the illness, subsequently diagnosed as the fatal cancer. But this did not disturb the serenity of his mind. Day and night he had only one thought, and that was the spiritual welfare of his disciples. He was guiding them toward the attainment of God. He encouraged them constantly to cultivate knowledge and devotion and warned them of the snares of woman and God. Master is describing. He was completely indifferent to his own illness and devoted himself wholeheartedly to the fulfillment of his earthly mission. Mission means for that he is born. Dija was about 16 years old, small boy. After the death of his mother, his father had married a second time. Dvija often accompanied M to Dakshineshwar, but his father did not approve of it. Dvija's father had for a long time been speaking of visiting Sri Ramakrishna. Today he had come to Dakshineshwar. He was the manager of a business firm in Calcutta and had passed his examination in law. Okay. That is his description. Master, to Dvija's father, please don't mind your children coming here. So Thakur wants to make their coming to him free of obstacles from the house. I ask people to live in the world after the awakening of their spiritual consciousness. Then we don't be afraid. I'm not going to make a missionary. After extracting gold through hard labor, a man may keep it under earth or in a box or underwater. The gold is not affected. Okay. So let him have vision of God and then let him marry or be in world. Ask people to live in the world in a spirit of detachment. If you break the jackfruit after rubbing oil on your hands, no sticky juice will smear your hands. So that is a common example given by Thakur. If the unripe mind dwells in the world, the mind gets soiled. One should first attain knowledge and then live in the world. Again and again, that is Thakur's command. If you put milk in water, the milk is spoiled. But that will not happen if butter churned from the milk is put in water. So let knowledge come up and then you live in the world. Dvija's father. That is true, sir. Master smiling. I know why you scold your children. You only threaten them. The brahmachari said to the snake, is another story. A brahmachari was about to enter a forest. The village people told him, don't go that side. There is a poisonous snake there. He said, I know the mantra to captivate you. Don't worry. And he proceeded. And the snake came with his good race. And as soon as he uttered the mantra, he became docile. Then the brahmachari told him, why you bite people? Hinsa you should not do. And take this mantra I'm telling you, you chant that mantra, think of God, and don't kill anybody. So he behaved like that. Then the boys thought he become docile. So they caught him by the tail, whirled him and struck him on the ground. Now he became terrified. So somehow he went to his hole and only in the night he would come out and eat whatever straw or something has fallen there. The brahmachari came 1 year after and inquired about the snake. The people said that he has died. Brahmachari said, not possible. The mantra which I am given, he will have to, that mantra will fructify in his life. He will see God before he dies. So he advanced toward the place where they had met before and called him by the name he had given him. And he came. And the brahmachari asked him, why you are become skeleton-like? He said, because I am not killing anybody here. Like, he said, no, remember, something must happen. Then he told him the tale. Then the brahmachari said, "You are a fool. I asked you not to bite people, but you could have hissed so that they would become terrified and they would not have hit you." That is the story. I know why you would scold your children. You only threaten them. The brahmachari said to the snake, "You are a fool. Indeed, I forbid you to bite, but not to hiss. Your enemies would not have beaten you if only you had hissed at them. Your scolding of the children, your scolding of the children is like hissing." Dija's father smiles. A good son is an indication of his father's spiritual nature. If good water comes out when a reservoir is dug, it only indicates the virtue of the owner. A son is called Atmaja, born of oneself. The self reborn. Your self itself is born again. There is no difference between you and your son. In one way, you yourself are reborn as your son. In one sense, you are a worldly person working in a business office and enjoying worldly life. In another sense, you are a devotee of God in the form of your son. Thakur wants that he should not obstruct. I heard that you were a very worldly person, but now I find it is not so. So that is Thakur's way. Smiling. You know all this? Understand that you are very circumscribed. Perhaps that is why you are nodding your assent to what I am saying. Vijaya's father smiled. What is that? At pity. Circumscribed. That is why you are not clearly expressing itself, not opposing. If your children visit this place, they will be able to know what you really are. That means they will see God inside you also. How precious one's father is. If a person deceives his father and mother in order to seek religion, he gets only worthless trash. A man is born with several debts. Debts to his father, the devas, and the rishis. Besides, there is a debt to the mother. He also has a debt to his wife. She must be supported. If the wife is chaste, the husband must provide for her after his death. So these are the debts. I could not live at Vrindavan on account of my mother. When I remembered that my mother was living in the temple garden here at Dakshineshwar, I could not feel peaceful at Vrindavan. So that is showing how the mother has to be revered. I ask people to live in the world and at the same time for their minds and at the same time fix their minds on God. I don't ask them to give up the world. I say, fulfill your worldly duties and also think of God. Vijay's father. I tell my children that they should attend to their studies. I don't forbid them to come to you, but I don't want them to waste time in frivolities with the youngsters. A master referring to Dvija. The boy must have been born with some good tendencies. Why are the two other brothers different from him? When is he, why is he alone spiritually minded? Will you be able to compel him not to visit this place? Sooner or later, everyone unfolds his inborn tendency. So you cannot stop him, he will come definitely. Vijaya's father. Yes, that is true. Sri Ramakrishna came down from the coach and sat on the floor beside Vijaya's father to honor him. While talking with him, he touched him now and then. That was his method of subduing his sanskaras of opposition. It was nearly evening. Sri Ramakrishna asked them and the others to show Vijaya's father the temple. He said to them, I should have accompanied him myself if I was well. So he offered himself. That means maximum respect and love he showed for the visitor. He asked someone to give sweets to the young men and said to Dija's father, let the children have a little refreshment. It is customary. So he is making Dija's father feel that Dija will have plenty of food here and good food. Dija's father visited the temple and the images and took a stroll in the garden. Okay. Then Sri Ramakrishna engaged happily in conversation with Bhupen, Dvija, M, and others on the southern porch of his room. Bhupen, Bhupen, Bhupendra is Swami Vivekananda's brother, but it might not be him here. Bhupen Datta became a communist leader later. No, it is not in the information. Okay. Bhupen Vijay and others on the southwest porch of his room. He playfully slapped Bhupen and M on the back. He said to Dija with a laugh, how I talk to your father. Dija's father returned to Sri Ramakrishna's room after dusk. He intended to leave shortly. He was feeling hot. Sri Ramakrishna fanned him himself. In a few minutes, the father took leave of the master. Sri Ramakrishna stood up to bid him farewell. Every possible respect each way. It was 8 o'clock. Sri Ramakrishna was talking to Mahimacharan, that scholar. Rakhar M and one or two companions of Mahimacharan went in the room. Mahimacharan was going to spend the night at the temple garden. Master to Mahima, well, how do you find Kedar? Has he only seen milk or has he drunk it too? He wants him to think about Kedar. Mahima, yes, he is enjoying bliss. Master, Nitya Gopal, Mahima, very good. He is in a lofty state of mind. Master, yes, well, what about Girish Ghosh? Mahima, he too has developed nicely, but he belongs to another class. Master, and Narendra? Mahima, he is now in the state I was in 15 years ago. Master, the younger Naren, how guileless he is? Mahima, yes, quite guileless. Master, you are right. Reflecting a little, let me see who else. It will be sufficient for the youngsters who come here if they know only two things. If they know these, they will not have to practice much discipline. And the austerities, first, who am I? And second, who they are. Many of the youngsters belong to the inner circle. So two things only they have to learn. These belonging to the inner circle will not attain liberation. I shall have to assume a human body again in a northwesterly direction. So they will have to do work for the as God's instruments. I feel peace of mind when I see the youngsters. How can I feel joy at the sight of those who have begotten children and are engaged in lawsuits and are involved in women and gold? How else? How could I live without seeing pure soul persons? So that is what happens when God incarnates. Mahimacharan recited some texts from the scriptures. He also described various mystic rites of the Tantra. Master, well, some say that my mind going into samadhi flies about like a bird in the Mahakasha, the infinite space. Those who know, they talk like that. Master, well, some say that my soul getting into samadhi flies about like a bird to the Mahakasha, the infinite space. Once at that time, once a sadhu of Rishikesh came here. He said to me, there are 5 kinds of samadhi. I think we can pick it up Tomorrow Wednesday, we'll pick it up on Thursday. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviridhitam Kalmashapam Shravanamangalam Shrimadasatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.